What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Friday, March 10th, 2023. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. I appreciate you all so much. Thanks for being here with me. And a big, big happy birthday to my love, Lauren. It is her solar return, so happy birthday to my Pisces queen. I love and appreciate you so much. I don't even know what life would be like over the last 6 months if you weren't in my life. So, love you very much. Thank you. And yeah, if anybody wants to wish her happy birthday, she's not on Instagram at the moment, but you can even go under this video and I can relay the message, or our live with Lauren and Brian in my live section, you can leave a comment there and she'll check that for sure. So, yeah, if you want to send that out there. Anyways, let's look at the astrology for this Friday, March 10th. Happy Friday, everybody. We're going to see that moon start off the day in Libra. Again, still trying to balance things mixed with the Pisces energy. It can, I don't know, gosh, how did we balance the universe? Is it already in balance? I don't know. Definitely a lot of I don't know energy, but the moon does start off the day with that trine over to Mars in Gemini. It could definitely give us a pickup. Mars is, tight on that square with Neptune, so there could be this sort of emotional drive about maybe thinking we have something understood or coming to a conclusion today, but at the same time, maybe not. It's just interesting. But there could be a bump of energy from that trine if we use it, or we could be extremely sleepy, lazy, and just not wanting to use our brain and emotionally understand our brain. That could be a thing too, because it's almost like we just might be feeling lazy. I'll be honest, there's a lot of lazy kind of built into this chart. But as we come into the evening, it doesn't really stay lazy, because that moon's going to finish up in Libra and square Pluto in Capricorn for the last time until Pluto makes its ingress into Aquarius. So the next trine the next square point will actually be the moon at 0 Scorpio, squaring over to 0 Aquarius with that Pluto. So definitely, I don't know, there's something. I mean, I feel like by tonight we're going to feel some intense emotions. Maybe it's about not worrying so much about what you think you have to get done, what you think you are supposed to be doing, trying to emotionally balance. So, like, I need to get in alignment. Maybe we very well do, but there's also something about just like, we got to find some chill. And if things start to get intense tonight, maybe with relationships, maybe with others, maybe just within our own life of what we're relating to, it can feel like overly intensified, or we feel like we're late, or we feel like we have to do more. You probably don't. We just have to figure this out internally. And I think that's the hard part, is going into that deeper space, maybe asking questions internally to yourself, but not expecting an answer, or not feeling like you have to just do something right now. I feel like we got to check ourselves, and time, patience. I feel like that's a big thing. There's no time in Pisces, right? So I guess we have to get comfortable in timelessness. And also remember too, with Saturn now in Pisces, and especially at 0 degrees, and with Lucifer catching back up for their conjunction, that, we can really lose discipline, right? So there is an area of life here where we need to stay spiritually disciplined and not just completely unravel, fall apart, make stupid decisions because we're being overly passionate or overly trying to control a situation or keep something going in our life. We just have to be totally available for the universe to bring in what's meant to be brought in and to take away what it's meant to take away. And the more we can be conscious to our unconscious, the more we can act accordingly, the more we can be responsible from a soul perspective. Now that Saturn is, really starting to ratchet up with Jupiter in a semi-square. So when Jupiter gets to 15 degrees of Aries, It's going to be a 45-degree angle to Saturn. And we're dealing with Jupiter and Chiron conjunct right now, which does feel like a sacrifice. And especially with the semi-square to Saturn, there's some kind of a spiritual, sacrifice that we're having to make in our life to have a more conscious understanding of ourselves, of how to define life, how to create life, how to see a bigger vision, but a vision that's not just from an ego or from these, desires that are built around systems, but from a really like conscious desire of like soul. So there's just a lot built in to everything right now, and I think we're trying our best. But of course, Mars and Venus are in their sextile right now, so that is, some really good energy that's trying to keep us going, trying to help us see that everything that we do start to understand, everything that is starting to kind of happens for a reason, so that you can respond based on what's going to provide the most, succulent reality for you. The most, divine reality, the most beautiful, environments, situations, how to debate, how to communicate, your self-expression, and, the beauty of the identity that you are. So there's a lot packed into today that is trying to transform based on the sacrifices you have to make to not unravel, but to realize that there are parts of life that are unraveling, and it's perfectly okay. So it's you have this free will choice to respond based on a spiritual discipline and not just any old discipline or, some kind of programmed fashion that we are all programmed in some way, shape, or form, right? Even, doing astrology. I took on the program of astrology, and you all did, right? So, we can't say that we're just free from programs. We're always running some kind of a program, right? It's about the ones that match with your soul. These are the ones you want to identify with. They're going to help you create, to help you move, to help you be more tactful, especially from a spiritual place. But we can feel a deep urge to do something that is more from an ego, more from a controlling factor. I have to have this, they have to do this for me. It's going to be especially like the finger pointing. There's a lot of finger pointing going on today. Remember, if you're the one pointing the finger, there's 3 pointing back at you, and likewise the other way. So we're the reflection is key right now in the life that we're living. What is that reflection like? It's important to pay attention to. The moon will then come into Scorpio after that square and, deals with some intensity, goes into fall position. We can want to get way too overly emotionally invested, especially right before the moon comes in with a 29-degree square over to Pluto. Oh man, like we could definitely carry some serious emotional issues into the moon in Scorpio this weekend, where we can hold on to some really negative, emotions, right? So we got to learn to transmute emotion. And I think today's a good step to transmute, to see cycles, to act from a disciplined spiritual place about what's going to create more abundance and more of a truth in your life. Yeah. All right, I'm going to use a super Piscean deck for this one. It's Lauren's favorite deck. It's the Crystal Visions Tarot. And it is just Piscean out. Oh my god. I don't know if I've ever seen such a Piscean deck. It's a cool deck. I've used it once before. Let's see what we got. We got the Queen of Wands upright. All right. Love that. There's a fierceness, there's a fierceness that's giving us energy, that's lighting the way. I think it comes back to the heart energy. Your heart does know what it wants to move for, how to be courageous, but your heart is also knowing at the same time, when you're in that disciplined place of knowing what it's telling you, that something could be off, something's disempowering. And it's not about control, it's definitely just about the courage to know that you can soar above the rest if you're in your heart today, because it's still confusing mentally, and again, it's almost like if you're too much in your solar plexus, too much in just your emotions at the same time, we can get way too fiery too. So I think it's important to stay in the heart. That'll keep you in an empowered place. Ten of Pentacles. Dang, that's a good card. Being able to create everything, to have all of it. And whether you have it all or not, this is a place to feel like you have it all. Because just that feeling actually could be the destructuring of what you've always been told. Because we're always told you don't have this, you don't have this, you need this, you need this. We live in such a consumer-based reality. But is it really about the consumption, or is it about the feeling and the wholeness that you can just carry within yourself? And if you're in your heart, if you love yourself, if you love others, you have compassion, and you see that everything's connected, are you not already living with everything? Damn, that was deep. Eight of Swords in reverse. Yeah, I would say that this is a good one too, because it's like we're getting out of cycles that confine and restrict us, and mentally where we hold ourselves back, we can break those today, and we can realize how easily we could slip into happy thoughts, how easily we can get out of our own mental confinements that keep us from abundance, whether it's love, whether it's money, whether it's material, whether it's spiritual. Our mind tricks us into keeping us away from what we actually want, and I think we're getting out of that and realizing that it's not all so bad. I'm going to pull one more because I feel like it. Knight of Wands in reverse. I don't know if it's about jumping the gun. I think we still want to have some kind of a patience. If we have to, it's hard because there's a lot of passionate energy right now. That can be amazing. That can be great. It can get us really going. But is it truth, right? Is it truth or is it illusion? These are things we're going to have to figure out on our own spiritually, because it's going to be different for everybody. But we're going to have to check in with our soul to make sure we're not jumping the gun on things that are really just repetitive. And we think we're so, on the right path, but are we really in one area or another of our life? So check yourself, keep your thoughts positive, keep your, soul focused on how whole you are. You can have that. It's always with you. But sometimes we think we're lacking because of one thing or another that we believe we should have. So beliefs are testy right now, and they can take us into a place where we're going to have to do some healing, or we're realizing that so much of the healing is done and that the sacrifice is really just committing to the identification of a positive self-belief system. I love you all very much. I hope you have a beautiful Friday. Happy birthday, Lauren. And I'll see you all for the weekend forecast tomorrow. Much love. Peace.